Market seems to split whether China's going to let it go or catch it, the RMB. Your thoughts?
We ultimately think they won't let it go, so to speak. The emphasis on stability from the broader policy front in China has been quite strong. And with that, we would assume that it flows through to a view on FX also. For example, if we think also about how much depreciation has already occurred to this point, and thinking about the way in which FX might be used as an offset to the tariffs that have been imposed, there's already been enough depreciation to offset the impact for the US consumer of China goods. Okay. So looking forward, I think the risk is sure we could see further tariffs imposed, or the ones that are existing, the tariff rate increase. But until then, and until it's clear that the policy wants to be used in that way, we're sticking with a view of stability. 695 for the
695
for the
will hold. We've crossed it, though, haven't we?
Marginally. I think there's been a lot of dollar strength here, which has come to our surprise as well as the market more broadly. Right. Particularly where we stand right now with month-end buying that's related to the US equity underperformance through the month of October. So let's see where we wash out. One important point to note is ahead of this G20 meeting at the end of November, where Xi and Trump are proposed to have a sideline meeting, ahead of these things historically, the renminbi has stayed, if not stable, actually slightly stronger into these meetings. So again, another reason to think that stability is probably the preference here.
Wages component is always the market mover here. Are you looking at a hotter number, and is that going to be a pro-dollar number?
I think the story probably with that data won't change. That wages are continuing to pick up slowly, but if we look versus history, they're not particularly high. Yet the labour market data itself, in terms of the unemployment rate and the rate of jobs growth, suggests that it should pick up at a far greater pace going forward. Now, for us, that's no new news. We're continuing to forecast the Fed to hike in December, as well as 4 times next year.
4 times next year?
4 times next year.
The market had it at 3, now they've got it at 2. Downside risks are very pronounced in 2019.
So the downside risks are obviously there in probably a greater way than they have been for most of this year in terms of that view. And our economists are being honest about the second half of next year being largely dependent on exactly that dynamic I described around the labour market. But regardless, that is going to be a key support of the dollar at these relatively elevated ranges we're seeing it now. And that's a key part of the message we're trying to put forward, that the idea of a substantial dollar reversal over the next year, we find very hard to see.
Still watching? Perfect. Click here to watch another great video from CNBC International. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.